across is we're trying to determine the shape of a graph. And the shapes that we're worried about right now are approximately normal, which is like your bell-shaped curve. So in this first one in A that I had you guys do, that's a pretty classic bell-shaped, approximately normal curve. So if I were to kind of draw around these dots, you see how I make that, but I'm going to try to do that like perfectly symmetric, but that bell shape where you get like the peak in the middle, so that's where the most points are, and then the stuff on the outside. So is there something you think was more important right now that maybe we should all be doing that? I don't know. What's going on? Could you close your computer for me, please? Thank you. Same thing with the box plot. Like you get this is right in the middle, and then these whiskers are the same on both sides. You don't get one that's like pulled way off the side or anything. Yeah?
Do we have to draw a line on the dot plot?
No, I'm just showing you, like, okay. If you drew this in, this is kind of the shape it would make. And then the other thing is the mean and the median are equal. So the mean equals the median, yeah?
How did you get the Q1 and the Q2?
Other people get what I got, or I screwed up?
I got one.
So this was your median, right? Oh, yeah, it would be 110. And 130? Yeah. And then 140 to 100, was that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, so you get your symmetric here as far as like both inside of the box, like this isn't pushed to one side or the other, and your whiskers are both the same, your mean is equal to the median. That's what's called approximately normal, so that's like your bell shape. So like, I give you an SAT, or you guys take the SAT, most of the scores are going to be in the middle, a little bit less people will do above average and below average, a little bit less will do like really well or really poorly, then you might get like one or two people that you get like a perfect or like just horrible. I don't know what the lowest score you get is, but David, do you know? So the second one, so what I did here was I changed 1 point, right? All I did was take that 140 and turn it into a 400. So I pulled one data point up or to the right. And what that does is now I don't get this like nice normal shape anymore. I get this nice normal shape and then like this giant tail before the other point. And which side is that tail on? The right. Which direction did I pull the point? To the right. On the box and whisker plot, so the box part is still the same. Like this is right in the middle, so this distance and this distance are the same. But where is there more of a gap? On the left or on the right? Where's there more of a gap? Between like the box and the next point. There's a way bigger gap on the right, isn't there? So I've moved a data point to the right, the graph gets pulled to the right, the box and whisker has a bigger gap on the right, and did the mean go to the right or to the left? The mean also went to the right. So this is skewed right. This is a skewed right graph, or skewed right data, and that's kind of, you should be able to identify it in like all of those ways. So if I give you this graph with this giant tail on the right, you should be able to tell me that's skewed to the right. If I give you a box plot with this giant gap on the right, you should be able to tell me that's skewed to the right. If I show you that the mean is bigger than the median, you should be able to tell me that that's skewed to the right. A very classic example of this is like income. So there's only so low you can go on an income graph, right? Like, you might have debt, but I'm just talking about like money that's coming in. You can't really go below zero. And then most people are kind of in a certain range, like, I don't know what the average income in the U.S. is, but is it 50,000? So average is 50,000. Wait, is it average or median though? So that's different. Okay, let's just say the median, so like most people are in like this like $40,000 to $100,000 range. But then what is skewing it to the right is like Zuckerberg and Bill Gates. So in income, what's going to be higher, the mean or the median? The mean will be higher because there's these data points way off to the right that are going to pull the tail that direction. Because most people are here. There can't be a tail this way because no one has an income of -1 million. But there's people that are making like $2 trillion a year that you're gonna get that tail that pulls everything out to the right hand side. All right, so that's an example of skewed right. That make sense? Skewed left is obviously the opposite. So all I did there, so I put the 140 back where it was, and I changed that 100 to a 0. So I pulled this point in which direction? It was 100, so I pulled it to the left. Then you get this big gap over here. The tail pulls to the left. You get this bigger gap on the left-hand side of the box plot, and the mean is to the right or the left of the median. It's to the left. So this is mean is less than median, and this is skewed left. But again, you should be able to identify from any of those characteristics if it's skewed right or skewed left. Classic example of this one is like grades on a test I give. So typically on a test, the grades will kind of look like this. There'll be 100, maybe a couple 90s, maybe a few 80s, a couple 70s, and then like the person that forgot to study gets 10. So most people are kind of clustered up in the higher end, but there's always, not always, but a lot of times there's 1 or 2 people that just bomb. And so this is skewed left because that is going to pull the mean down or left, whichever way you want to think about it. Does that make sense? All right. I'm going to write out a sheet of either situations or graphs, and you just write down if they're skewed right or skewed left. So I'll write this. You write down if that's skewed right or skewed left. I'm not collecting it, so, it's your notes. I think it's probably better off if you can look back and see the question too. But that's up to you. Or you can tell me approximately normal. Money on people in this class. So when we made a list of money. Stuff. Unbelievable. Bless you. Just make a quick note next to each one. Skewed right, skewed left, or approximately normal. Some of these might be open to interpretation too. Like we might argue about a couple of them. I don't know. 8 and 9, I think, are, yeah. Well, there's a problem with 9 is that
They try to make it.
they do, but it's multiple choice, so like you can't really do. Like you can get them all right, but you can't really get them all wrong. If you
That's true. You can't get below
So it does.
a score of like
It's like
600 or something.
yeah.
I think that's the lowest score.
So it does kind of skew it a little bit.
I guess on raw numbers, I guess it would be, but they probably make it a perfect bell curve between 600 and 1600 instead of 0 and 1600. Because you can't get a 0.
Yes.
So,
So 400 and 1600 probably, because 1,000's the middle, so it's probably 600 each one. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Did you say integrated helped you?
Yeah.
You didn't even know I was listening.
Like, I had pre-calc and integrated.
You're like, oh, I was really pre-calc.
Well, no.
No, that's fine.
Like, the stuff I learned in pre-calc, like, I didn't understand how to use, but then when I hit integrated, like, I understood how to use it more.
That's cool. Your class was, I kind of felt bad for you because you were pretty far ahead of most of your class.
Yeah.
So we didn't really do as much stuff at your level as, not that you're some genius or something. Okay. Number 1, skewed right or skewed left.
Right.
Number 1 is skewed to the right because the tail's on the right. Number 2, skewed to the left because you got that big gap on the left. Number 3, skewed to the right because that's going to pull everything to the right. All right. I need to put a couple more. Hold on. I wanted to put these on here too. So do 11, 12, and 13, then we'll go back and check the rest. That's like the other way you should be able to recognize it. So it's which way does the mean get pulled? Think of the median as just stable, and the mean gets pulled one way or the other. If the mean got pulled up, that's skewed right. Mean got pulled down, that's skewed left. Number 4, the money on people in this class, I would say that's skewed to the right. Because we had, like most people, a lot of people had 0. Most people had like a small amount, but then, was it this class that went up like $250 on them? Yeah. So that, does that person still have all that money, or did they get robbed later?
You got about 255 left.
You didn't get robbed though.
No.
Not yet.
No, you robbed.
So Nathan was what caused this, I guess, right? So which way is it skewed? It's skewed to the right. Number 5 would be skewed left because of that point. If that wasn't there, what would you say? Approximately normal. Number 6, approximately normal. So average, I get what you're saying, but you want to use their terminology, so make sure you say approximately normal. Number 7. Okay, so the difference in the whisker part can matter, but if the whiskers are the same, the distance between the median and the Q1 and Q3 matters also. So you see how this is a lot smaller than this? That means that it's more spread out on this side, and we're pulling things to the mean, and this is actually skewed to the right. So it can be in the box or outside of the box. Usually I kind of try to make it obvious and make it both, like I did up here, but just in case. So number of states visited, this, I think we could probably discuss this either way. It might be approximately normal. I think there's, I don't know. What'd you guys put?
Well, I put normal maybe skewed to the right, but
So it's either normal or skewed to the right. Do you agree with that? It wouldn't be skewed to the left because you can't really go like way below. You couldn't have someone that visited negative 50 states that's pulling the mean down. But I don't really care. I just want to make sure you understand. Like, does it make sense? It could be either normal or skewed to the right. Okay. SAT scores. So I think what they try to do with those, and and I kind of just realized this just talking through with David right now, is they try to make it approximately normal around 1,000. So I think they do this. But if you were looking at it like with the zeros involved, you might have said it was skewed to the right. Like I think you could have put either there. But I think what they really try to do is make the average 1,000. You can't really get a zero on the SAT because it's multiple choice, right? So if you're guessing, you're gonna get something. What? You do?
Yeah.
Okay, then if you get perfect, you get 1,600. So that's exactly what it is then.
Yeah.
So like 600 each way, so that's approximately normal, which I didn't know until we just talked about it. Number 10. Skewed left because of the zero. Number 11, the mean is less than the median, so the mean got pulled left, so that's skewed left. Number 11, the mean is bigger than the median, so the mean got pulled up, that's skewed to the right. And then number 13 will be approximately normal. Those okay?
Yeah.
Questions on? Alright, I want you to try, and this is kind of tough, because I was just trying to do it while you guys were doing that. It's harder than I thought it was going to be. Work with either one other person or two. So you can have a group, there's going to be a couple groups of threes, just because the way you guys are sitting, like I'm guessing you'll be a group of three or whatever. I want you to try to come up with two like real life situations that are skewed right, two that are approximately normal, and two that are skewed left. So like income was the one I used. That's a real life situation that's skewed to the right. You can't use that. Don't steal mine. Does that make sense what I'm asking? And then I'm going to call on people. I'm going to call on groups to share.
But don't they still have like? I mean, there's still there. We're all thankful for it. But our lengths, we can do lengths.
Yeah, but there are some people.
I'm insane. You look at me like, you'll have to argue that. What's something that people
There's not much space. Okay, so how does
Dude, right? I'm keeping it flex. But it's just like pants for. We can't go below zero. Pittsburgh.
If you want really fancy, kids is fine. You can go fancy.
Okay, now we just need another.
Yeah, but then you have like size.
She looks like a doll. A literal doll.
You have the same amount. That's another one you can debate with him about. The same amount. We all have the same amount. Like right now.
We all have to or sorry, excuse me, right.
We already have skewed.
Yes, right.
Okay, nothing's less. Less. Okay. Maybe by one. There's so many other things you can do.
Something a lot of people
Another normal.